Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Final review day for the Crosman 7-Cf11np-Sx, if you want to get real technical, or just call it a Crosman F11 for short. This is a non-PAL 22 caliber Nitro Piston brake action rifle, and it is actually a really good rifle. Only a couple things about it that I have complaints on, of course. The most major complaint I have on this gun is actually the scope sucks that comes with it. This is not the scope that comes with it. We'll show you that in a minute though. Anyways, so the first thing you're going to want to do is upgrade the scope. Now in Canada, you're looking at almost $300 before tax for this gun. And in fact at D&L Airgun they sell it for $289.99 Canadian. Which I think the price for, considering the scope sucks so bad, is a little high. I think they need to knock about 75 bucks off the price. And then I think it would definitely be worth buying, because that scope is absolutely useless on this gun. No matter what you do, you are not going to get that thing to hold any zero position. It is all over the place. However, that scope is actually perfect if you want to put it onto a CO2 gun or a pumper gun. No problems whatsoever. Hold zero all day long. Shoot to your heart's content. Put in, or content, sorry. I gotta do a bloopers reel someday. But anyways, you get the idea. To your heart's content, you can just hole after hole in the same hole if you want. The thing is a really nice scope, but just not on this gun. That's the only thing, right? Now, as far as any other complaints about this gun, I have one other concern, and that is from here down into the groove down here. These edges are sharp. Now this is a synthetic plastic stock. They could have beveled the edge, which I'm going to have to take the time with some sandpaper and bevel those edges in, because they are sharp. And if you are going to do the artillery hold, and in case you don't know what that's about, you hold the gun up like this and you put your hand up more forward. This is called the artillery hold. This is going to give you your best accuracy on most Springers and most Nitro air guns. Some air guns will not tolerate that hold. However, you could hold it here, but it's not as nice. This gun seems to really like the artillery hold, but my hand doesn't like getting gouged. So I'm going to have to fix that. So that's something else you're going to have to deal with on this stock, especially if you want shooting accuracy, okay? Now you can get a barrel mount bipod too, and just use a bipod all the time. Now I am going to be ordering one barrel mount bipod in, just to see if they are any good, because this gun, as well as my Benjamin Classic 22, there is no way to mount a stock mountable bipod to them, where they're going to be in a good placement even. So I figure, well, there's a good quality one I found on Amazon that's a barrel mount, really good quality. So we're going to try that out and see how that works. I'll be ordering that in a couple of weeks, and we'll see what it's like. But I do have some guns that will use standard bipods, and those guns are going to be getting bipods on them. Right now I've been using a makeshift bipod, so I don't always get the bullseye, because sometimes even I like to show off, but unfortunately mine kind of swivels a little bit and it kind of rocks like this, because it's just a little mini tripod that is, I don't know what it's for, but I kind of fixed it up with some foam to tighten against the barrel, and I've been using that as a makeshift bipod. I gotta seriously get a real bipod to stop that, side turning like this, and be more stable with my target shooting with that. It makes it a lot easier to line up a scope too if things aren't squircling around everywhere. Anyhow, it is a short throw piston too, so your brake action will go down to about the horizontal plane this way, so it's not a full down kind of thing, which is fine, no big deal. Being non-PAL, it is rated for under 500 feet per second, so you do not require a license for this thing. You just have to be 18 years of age and older to purchase one. But otherwise, if you're under 18, adult supervision. Anyhow, so the trigger is really nice for a two-stage trigger. Plenty of length too in the trigger. Wish they would have done that with my Benjamin Classic. Same flip system as the Benjamin Classic for your safety. You do have a plastic synthetic trigger guard, which I wish they would have done in metal, but I'm not going to really pick on that too much, because the way I look at it, you're not supposed to be dropping your guns anyways. I know accidents happen, but still, They could have put a metal one on there. That would have been better. I've not adjusted the trigger at all. I'm happy with the two-stage setup the way it is, so I'm fine with that. So, what is the gun like otherwise? Well, out to 20 yards, it is still really good. Anything much past 20 yards, I'm finding it just doesn't have the snap that my Benjamin Classic has. So it'll be nice once my crony shows up so we can crony these guns and see what they're actually truly reading at, which can also explain, you know, distance versus power and what I've been experiencing, you know, or maybe it's just me. We're going to find out. But anyways, I did get a really awesome scope for it, but we're going to do a separate review on that. But all in all, it is a really good gun. I would recommend it. However, I am going to put this review at, well, I'm going to be generous. I'm going to go 4 out of 5. It ain't perfect, nothing ever is, but it's losing 3/4 of a star for a lousy scope, and the sharp edges is not a big deal. You can fix that up yourself, so I'm really not going to pick on that too much. But it does have a very lousy scope that comes with it, so for that reason I'm going to say it's not worth the purchase price of $289 unless you are willing to basically deal with that scope on a different gun and go and spend at least $100 on a really good scope. Now in Canada, because I always quote Canadian prices unless otherwise stated, Leapers has a UTG 1-inch 4x32 full-size AO mil-dot scope. Now this does not have illumination. I don't know what are the features it actually doesn't have because you can only get to so much of the picture. It does, however, have the exact same mounts as this, okay? And these are good mounts, nice wide bands. That would be your cheapest scope in Canada that is definitely going to handle a nitro gun or a Springer gun, okay? PAL or non-PAL. It is fog-proof, shock-proof, waterproof, blah, 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 okay? So, Leapers scopes are really good scopes. But if you want to spend a little bit of extra on a Leapers, there are other Leapers scopes that are far better, including this one, because this one's like a 3x12. And then they got another one that goes up to 16 times and so on. Anyways, other than that, the gun is great, you know, in the end result. The ambidextrous part of it is great too, so lefties or righties. I'm a lefty shooter. I can't shoot right if my life depended on it, but I can definitely shoot left-handed all day long. So it is good, it is accurate. It's pellets of choice. I want to talk about that. It runs really wicked good with RWS super points. Crosman pointed pellets it does extremely well with. Predator polytip and the metal mag Predators does really good. Beeman hollow points it also does really good with. That's what I got so far for a created list of the pellets I find work the best with this gun. Now, the two top pellets that work the best without any readjustments whatsoever are going to be your RWS pointed pellets, the super points, and of course your Predator poly-tipped, okay, the poly-tipped shorts. They are going to work the best without any adjustment whatsoever, okay. The Crosman pointed, they usually require a click difference, maybe 2 clicks difference when you're switching off between. But otherwise, the other ones are just fine, and you shouldn't have to readjust your sights at all for those pellets. The gun chooses the pellet. The owner does not choose the pellet for the gun. The gun will choose the pellet that it works the best with, or pellets that it's going to work the best with. Because you want pellets that you don't have to readjust for. So, you know, even though I have a list, I've told you my thoughts, I'm only going to be using the pellets that actually I don't have to change anything on, other than maybe it might be a distance factor, of course, because point of impact changes with distance. I don't mind changing my elevation for a distance thing, but I don't want to be dialing in everything just to change to a different pellet and then have to, you know, have a cheat list of, okay, I got to go back this way and I got to go back this way and then back to this pellet and at this range and so on. I don't want to have to make lists. So, but anyways, there you go. There you have it. That's what I got for you. As far as everything else goes, it definitely has some good walk power. It definitely can put things down. Someone's going to ask me, can it take out small game? Okay, here we go with the list. It will take down squirrels, chipmunks, partridge, rabbits, gophers, gophers. I don't know about an otter, but it'll definitely take down a gopher. Skunks it'll take out, no problem. Yeah, that's your basic list. Pretty much anything that's considered to be small game, it should handle it just fine. At what ranges? Well, it's going to depend on the pellet of choice that you use. The more deadlier the pellet you choose to use, the easier your chances are. But it's also shot placement too, don't forget. You got to have the shot in the right place. And you only want to shoot the thing once and have it drop. You don't want to have to do mercy kills of your prey. But good for pest control either way, you know. So that's where we're at with the gun. So that hopefully answers people's questions on whether or not it can handle small game hunting, even though it's a non-PAL air gun. Yes, it actually can. There is no question about it whatsoever. As far as noise factor, it's no noisier than a spring gun, you know. They say nitro guns are quieter. Well, maybe in the PAL range they're quieter, but in the non-PAL range, you're not really going to notice a difference between a Springer and a nitro realistically. You do notice a difference in how they shoot though, because a nitro piston, it just has a forward momentum and that's it. A spring gun, when it goes through its firing cycle, goes straight, smacks, and does an instantaneous micro rebound. Okay, so that's a different kind of a chug, we'll call it, or a shock to the recoil. Okay, so nitros are a lot smoother. Granted, they really are. They are a lot smoother that way. But anyways, there you have it. That's what I got for you. Do as you will with this review as far as your choice of whether or not you want to buy this particular gun or not. I still think it's a good gun. I still think it's a good buy. It's going to be very durable for years to come. Do remember though, with spring piston and nitro guns, to use silicone chamber oil to lube the piston and the seal about every couple hundred rounds. Crosman usually recommends about every 200 shots, which this one's actually overdue on. Whoopsie. But that's going to give you your best longevity and life performance out of the seals and the piston and all that other jazz. So anyway, oh yes, we were going to show you that other scope and then we're out of here. Okay, let me just put this thing down. I want to show you that scope that came with this thing. You can't always see a lot from pictures for the best clarity on the internet. So if I give you a video coverage, you're going to see more. I'm going to pull one of the turret caps off. So this is what you can expect for your adjuster. Okay, this is the elevation one. Windage one's the same. Now they're nice clickers and all. I'll give them that. And they run smooth. But the thing is, the scope is just no good for holding it zero on the nitro gun. It's just lousy. And this is a center point 4x32 scope, and it's just it's not even adjustable optical. It's just your focus and your zoom. That's it. And so your zoom is just a 3x9. It's a good scope as far as being on a pumper gun. I've got it dialed in on this gun. I can shoot this gun just one pellet after the other and virtually get them in the same hole almost exactly every single time. It is that good on something like this. But nonetheless, for being the scope that came with that nitro gun, this scope is lousy on that gun. It is just horrifying. And a lot of people knock center point scopes too, and rightly so. Some of them are garbage. I have a center point scope that came with my Benjamin Classic 22. It is an amazing scope for a center point. Beautiful. And that's a spring gun, you know, and it's just awesome on it. But that scope that came off the nitro, not a chance, man. That thing's horrifying. But that's where we get things going on that. So I am out of here now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and checking out the final reviews. Hope you got a lot out of it. Stay tuned for a lot more shooting videos and, of course, crony testing once my new crony shows up that I ordered. And we'll find out what these guns truly do run at with the different pellets. Thanks for watching. See you later.